wow. I'm excited. I have Aquarius North Node, and I'm always in my North Node, y'all. Okay. I've been in my North Node since I was 12. I swear. But I wasn't as spiritually evolved, though. But I've always known who I was. Like, I always knew what I want to do. I couldn't fixate on anything else. So I'm excited that we're doing an Aquarius read. Okay, let's get it. Okay, so the opposite sign of Aquarius is Leo. If you're a Leo, you're going to want to stick around. If you have Aquarius in your chart, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node. If you are dealing with Aquarius, if you're cross-watching for an Aquarius, you want to stick around. We're about to get you some freaking messages. Alright? It's about to get lit, y'all. I actually have energy now. Last night I was pretty like droopy, y'all. I was like, but I couldn't sleep either, so I came to hang out for a bit. So it was fun. Okay, guys, I'm excited. Let's get this for Aquarius. This is your reading, babes, for October. Sorry, why do I keep saying October? For November. Get it through your head. It's November. Y'all, this is your reading now through November for 2025. Thank you for the chili, love. I appreciate you. Aw, thank you. Thank you for the kitty. Appreciate you. Aw, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, Crow. Okay, guys. What is the overall spiritual energy? Let me just clear these energies, y'all. And please excuse my inability to speak. And, like, I don't know. Mercury retrograde is approaching, so it doesn't surprise me. It affects spiritualists quite a bit. You'll notice that they get like tongue-tied and shit, or they drop cards, or they just don't be surprised, okay? Anyway, clearing these energies. All right, Aquarius, this is your reading now through November. Jesus Christ. Okay. What is the spiritual energy? Divine power. Voyage by the sea. So, divine power on some kind of journey or an emotional journey. Thank you so much for the gift, love. I appreciate you. Yeah, for redemption. Somebody can redeem themselves if they dive into the water. If they go into the emotional aspect. If they expand their emotional intelligence, their emotional framework. Yeah, after rebelling with war and violence, there is a new beginning here potentially with new perception and revelation. Okay, very interesting start, but somebody has vices that they gotta beat off with a stick. Okay, they gotta beat that shit like away and set boundaries and practice boundaries and go on their spiritual quest here. So somebody did rebel with war and violence, but with a new perception, which they really need one, because this is never okay. So this is divine intervention is what I'm getting, y'all. This is the divine working their magic in probably a very painful way. But sometimes that's the only way some people can learn, guys. Sometimes it's the only freaking way some people can learn. Okay? And even the best of us, even like, you know, even empathic types, sometimes it's the only way that you can learn, because your damn empathy just gets you nowhere good. It's like, and not to say you shouldn't have it, but you need to learn how to temper that. Everything requires balance. Too much of anything is never good. Too little of things isn't good. Okay, there needs to be balance, both spiritually and physically here. So it's looking like there is an opportunity to redeem, but they actually have to do the work, and they actually have to open their mind and their emotional intelligence. Angel number 33 could be significant. 22, 44. Wow, there's a pattern here. Big angel numbers coming out. A lot of like 1, 2, 3s and 4s here I'm seeing. 222 could be significant angel number. Maybe February 22nd could be significant. Wow, we got 22, 33, 44. That's wild. Okay, guys. Wow, and 55 right here, y'all. Do you see this pattern here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like something needs to be a process. Something needs to go. Yeah, something needs to go in order. Something needs to shift. Something needs to change. Somebody's protected. The angels are here. We're getting too many angel numbers that are like the main angel numbers for me to not notice that. Like, this is something that is very divinely guided here. Whatever this is, whoever this is for. Somebody here could be 22 to 33, 44, 55, 46, 20, 25, 52. Born in 64. January could be significant. January 4th, January 20th, January 2nd, January 22nd, January 4th, January 10th, January 8th, January 6th, January 25th, January 7th. April could be significant. April 1st. Whenever I get April 1st, I feel like at some point somebody thought something was funny, but it wasn't. Maybe they went too far with a prank, or... April 1st, April 20th, April 22nd, April 4th, April 10th, April 8th, April 6th, April 25th, April 7th. February 1st. That's Aquarius, I know for sure. Maybe somebody is the February 1st. That's actually my ex's birthday, y'all. I run into a lot of people with the birthday on the 1st. So many people in my life are born on the 1st. And, you know, people that are really into numerology, they notice weird shit like that. You know what I mean? There's no, it's all divine. It's like, once you wake up to the numbers and the patterns and the signs and synchronicities, y'all, you never see the world the same again. I swear. Okay, January 8th, the death of your grandma. Oh, wow. Anniversary, wow. Okay, so we're getting confirmations. Okay, so April 1st, April 20, we already did April's. Okay, also February 1st, February 4th, February 10th, February 22nd, February 6th, 8th, 10th, and 25th, and 7th, February 7th. I'm also getting October 1st, October 4th, October 20th, October 2nd, October 25th, October 7th, October 22nd, October 6th, 8th, and I already said 10th, right? I think. June 1st, June 4th, June 20th, June 2nd, June 10th, June 22nd, June 8th, June 25th, June 7th. Lastly, or wait, no, there's two more months to go through. Okay, so August 1st, August 4th, August 20th, August 2nd, August 10th, August 22nd, August 6th, August 25th, August 7th. And then lastly, October 1st, October 4th, October 20th, October 2nd, October 10th, October 22nd, October 6th, October 8th, October 25th, and October 7th. Those dates could be significant. Wow, that was a doozy, y'all. All right. October 22nd, your mom? Wow. Really cool stuff, y'all. I love the confirmations. Thanks for letting me know. All right, let's see here. Let's see, Aquarii. We're doing Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and we have 44 people in the chat, y'all. We got 44 over here. We got 33, 22, 55. I mean, my goodness. Something is like working. It's like a process. It's working its way to the finish line. You know what I mean? And that's the way it should be. Things need to be done the correct way with whatever this is. It's being guided. Several confirmation dates. Wow. Okay, let's do this. Let's go. And there's 44 people in here. Something's very protected. We're getting a lot of 4s. All right, what's the soul truth? What can I do to make a difference? Aquarius, what keeps you up at night, hon? what makes you cringe when you think about it, such that every ounce of you screams no more. Where can you create purpose out of your pain? This is about transmutation. Your soul action now through November, okay, November, make a difference in someone's life today, big or small, because all of it makes a difference. Okay, beautiful. Let me get a crystal or gemstone for Aquarius that would be helpful to pray or meditate with. Thanks so much for the hearts, y'all. I appreciate you. All right, what's going on? What gemstone for Aquarius? Obsidian. Ooh, intense. Okay, obsidian stones are protective stones. Yes, what did we just say? Protection. 4 4s everywhere. 4s. Okay. Black obsidian is known to be the strongest protective energy against like darkness, right? This stone allows you to be protected from incoming negative energy in daily life. Holding it briefly above the third eye each morning during meditation creates a protective shield around you. Somebody is protected, but they also need some obsidian here. Purple or black could be significant. Very witchy colors. Okay. All right, let's see, y'all. Let me get my decks. Okay. Let me get them. Hold up. Okay. All right, y'all. Let's see what's going on. All right. What is money and career looking like now through November for Aquarius? Your favorite color is black? I freaking love black. Black is the shit, man. Somebody's losing their crown that they probably... Somebody doesn't have a crown. Because a real crown comes from spirit. A real crown is spiritual. It's not 3D based. Okay? Somebody isn't overcoming an obstacle here. They could have maybe put their eggs in the wrong baskets here. Okay? It's because they're not growing. They're not overcoming obstacles because they're not in the right environment. They're not with the right energies. That's how you know. If your life is not going well, if it's like there's always problems, like look around who you're around, y'all. Look at where you are at in life. What is the universe trying to teach you? Like what is it trying to show you? People don't pay attention because they're always like so busy. They're always living life so fast. But you got to slow it down on purpose, intentionally sometimes. You got to remember to stop and smell the roses. Roses could be significant. Okay. So it's looking like because somebody didn't want to start over, they're losing some kind of status, or they're being demoted, or they're not getting this title, or they're losing. It's like they're not in control over their life, or somebody here could not be being in their boss energy here. They're not taking charge. They're not making progress. There's no new opportunities here. Somebody could be needing to pay attention to their health. They could be running out of resources. It's because they're like too timid to start over or something. Yeah, they need to cut somebody off. Exactly. And then things will speed up. Okay, that's what I'm getting. That's what we're getting. Yeah, look, rose comes out after that. And it's in the reverse. There's no roses here. Kissed by the rose on the grave. Ooh, na 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 na. Things how you feel. Yeah. Why would you get roses when the heart is in the reverse too, there's no love here. There's nothing to like be proud of or be romantic about. It's like, y'all, you know, it is what it is. Rose, somebody could use rose water, like a rose perfume or rose body wash, or somebody's name could be Rose or middle name, or sea turtles could be significant. The golden egg is not, it's not in the vicinity, y'all. Somebody here is not hatching golden eggs. Okay? Thank you so much for the finger snap, love. I appreciate you. I love finger snaps. I'm a finger snap connoisseur. Okay? What other messages for Aquarius? Okay, yeah. Something's not forming, or somebody's out of form. This is something that they intended. So they intended to, like, make something not form in a positive way. But somebody here is relying on their inner compass and trusting themselves regardless. They don't need to be, like, sheltered by anybody. They don't need to be told what to do. Yeah, they're ignited. Somebody here could be dealing with a fire sign, possibly. Doesn't have to be. Somebody here trusts themselves. They come with a built-in inner compass, so they don't need validation outside of themselves. And if you're not going to come along for the ride, that's fine. They'll go it alone. Yeah, somebody, exactly. Somebody adapts. Exactly. That's what this is. Okay. So it's like explore innovative solutions, embracing adaptability in tough times. I feel like that might be what somebody's having to do here. Spark transformation by weaving change into your life. So somebody needs to weave some change into their life. Make intentional choices to bridge disruptions and build resilience. Somebody here is not good at transcending obstacles. They just run away like a little child. They're like very weak because they're so afraid of failing, or they don't trust somebody to stick around with them through it all, or I don't know what the reason is. Either way, you gotta, so what? So what? How do you build resilience? How do you build strength? You keep going forth anyway. You battle, and if you find somebody to battle the storms with you, you better hold on and appreciate and show gratitude, because some people aren't like that, y'all. They suck. All right. Rely on your inner compass, and if somebody doesn't know themselves, they can't do that. That becomes a problem when you don't know yourself. When you let and you don't have boundaries, that means you're going to let other people get into your head and let other people think for you. That's why boundaries are a mandatory component of self-love. And the only way that you can go within and hear your own thoughts is if you have boundaries. And the only way you can get to know yourself is if you can hear your own thoughts, which requires boundaries. Which requires, like, holding space for yourself, by yourself. Okay? Oh, you're so welcome, guys. Okay, I don't want to ask this all, but I guess I will ask the spirit one last time. Jesse, right now we're in the middle of the Aquarius read, babe, but if you're still here, I'd be happy to help you with some questions, okay, if you do have any. Stick around. So, yeah, boundaries is absolutely mandatory. You can't wear a crown without them. You're not there yet. You know what I mean? You haven't done the lessons. Okay? So this is about forming your own internal voice, internal compass, and actually building trust with yourself. Building trust with your own feelings and emotions. Building trust with your faith, your courage. Okay? That's how you self-actualize. Alright, let me get a totem animal for Aquarius for November. Okay, we have a distorted water energy. And, you know, if you've ever seen an orca in SeaWorld, they're miserable. They're so sad. They're abused. They're stolen from their families. Orcas are very social creatures. Maybe somebody isn't being social right now. Maybe they're not being a family, team player-oriented person. Maybe they're distorted and they don't want to swim. Maybe, like, this is like a fish out of water energy, y'all. Somebody's in unfamiliar territory. We have the iguana in the reverse. Another watery energy. Earth and water could be significant. They're both in the reverse. Bad sign. Bad sign. All right. This could be because as simple as somebody not having boundaries, they've ruined their whole life. It's like, and you know, sadly, a lot of us are brought up in households where we're not allowed to have boundaries. But once you're 18, you absolutely are, whether somebody likes it or not, y'all. Like, you know, some people are raised, do as you're told, people please, and that's not healthy. You're never going to love yourself, and you're never going to love anyone else, and they're never going to love you truly because you're going to sabotage it. It's like, and their dorsal fins stay limp. Aww. So with the orca, the superpowers are supposed to be about clear intentions, forging the way on your life path, trusting the process, following your instincts. It's in reverse. All those things are not happening. The orca wisdom is spring cleaning your mind and decluttering your heart and surroundings, opens up space to receive information from your higher self. Maybe somebody's surrounded by clutter. Maybe they're cluttered in their head, or they're cluttered in the people that they surround themselves with. This is so important to hear your own thoughts, y'all. I was in a relationship with my ex, right? My last ex. I've talked about him a few times. I'm not going to name names. And a lot of our relationship, I was going through something where I was getting like a lot of visions and a lot of things were coming up, right, to the surface. And some of which I know now aren't even mine. I was getting psychic premonitions, visions of the past, and some of which were my partner's, okay? And I didn't know how to tell him that, and I didn't know it at the time whose visions they were, to the point where I was confused that some of them were maybe in my past, like that I had forgotten and just remembered. And it was no coincidence that was happening while I was with this person. It was because it was preparing me for spiritual warfare. And it was because I believed that it was a soulmate twin connection that was sabotaged by extremely toxic interference, third parties and, family members, whatever. And sadly, because he grew up around narcissistic abuse, which he's never told me about, that's just something I know. I for sure know it. I've gotten feelings, I've gotten visions, I've observed his behavior. I just know. And then him ghosting me was just the icing on the cake, y'all. Very, very toxic, narky behavior, usually out of fear, inadequacy, or, trying to avoid some kind of ending or trying to be in control to some degree. It's all signs of somebody who has grown up in an environment where they either are pressured or they're unfocused, they're scattered, they can't think for themselves. And then it's like those types of people are very insecure inside. And, one day they're like, wait, I don't know if I want this relationship. I don't know if I should be here. It's like, and then they freak out and then they sabotage their whole life and then they just ghost somebody like me, okay? Happens all the time, sadly, y'all. Okay, meanwhile, though, God was preparing me. Like, they made us intertwined for a reason, because I can actually help this person, but I can't without a will. You know what I mean? I can't force somebody. But I was being prepared for how to protect myself, to strengthen me, to go through the worst period of time in my life, y'all. And also to fully self-actualize and realize how important my light is, not just for myself, but for everybody. More than a relationship. And to be a guiding light, like a North Star for others that are lost or in the dark, right? And him being one of those people. But I couldn't get him to look or want to see when he was trying to make me invisible. That's something that there's nothing I can do about it, right? And I feel like in a situation like that, it's like that's a person who can't make decisions on their own. They don't feel confident because they haven't forced themselves to trust the process, because they're not in the right environment to do such a thing. They're around people that pressure them, press their boundaries, give them like unsolicited advice, and this could also be somebody that sabotages, where it's like this is the type of person that would talk to everybody but the person that you should be talking to about your relationship, for instance. It's like, talk to your person. Don't complain and talk about your relationship to everybody else. Like, aim towards peace and some kind of compromise with your person, but that requires emotional openness. That requires a trust or a faith in the process, a leap of faith to some extent. And for somebody who's been so guarded and has been so disappointed in their life, emotionally, specifically, this is the energy I'm getting. They don't transform. They don't grow up. They don't take flight. Their wings, they never go through the metamorphosis to become the butterfly. They stay the inching little caterpillar that's squishy and not even close to what they're meant to be. You know, and it's a painful process. They go into a cocoon, y'all, forever. And every part of their being is transformed into something else that looks completely just not even at all the same. So it's a whole entire, it's like an ego death. It's a shedding of skin. It's a painful deconstruction of what has been conditioned, what the illusions that need to be broken. It's finding yourself, finding your soul's purpose, waking up to the beauty of life and how your perception navigates it, okay? Your attitude, your perception, the way that what you choose to fixate on, how you see beautiful things, the value you attach to it, what matters to you. It's like you really need to sit down with yourself to decide these things. And some people, they're just so busy doing life that they never do that. And they just do what was expected of them. And it's like all of a sudden I have this whole family, I'm with this person. And it's like I never did that. I never lived my life. I never, you know, it's like all these things I could have been maybe. I had all this potential, but I kind of just like got myself stuck in a situation, or I did what my family wanted, or whatever it is. It's like all these years can go by really fast, y'all. And it's like you're not wearing your crown. That's why you're not abundant. It's like, and in order to go through this process, you need to cut off some people that aren't going to support it. Because people that thrive on, you know, you being smaller than you're meant to be, shrinking yourself, playing it safe, they're not going to be happy about you ascending. It doesn't matter if they're your best friend in the world. If they're benefiting somehow on you staying in some kind of complacent energy, they're going to, you know, talk around in circles. They're going to give you every reason and sow seeds of doubt in your mind. And it's going to seem like they're caring. It's going to seem like, no, that's all manipulation. The people that actually love you are for real rooting for you. They're pushing you. They're challenging you. They're challenging you to step outside your comfort zone, not in a toxic way, like as in like, yeah, you should have that foursome, man. Step outside of your comfort zone. No, I'm not talking about that. Okay? I'm talking about stepping outside of your comfort zone, doing something with courage, something that you're insecure about but you're very interested in, that's high vibrational, or like a skill that you've just never applied yourself to, but it's something you always think about. Whatever nudges you over and over again for years and years and years and years, that's something that is important. That's your intuition flaring. That's your spirits calling you. That's your north node trying to pull you into your north node. Like it's or it's a wound that needs to be looked deeper into, because it's sabotaging your whole life path. You know, whatever it is, there's something here that's going on. Look at all these in reversals. Like, this is sad. The orca is supposed to be about listening to your inner voice. Maybe somebody doesn't do that because their inner voice is so abusive and critical. Or in the worst case scenario, there's been emotional incest where, like, if you guys know about psychology, it's very hard to explain. It's a lot to get into, a lot of layers. You got to peel back. But the most simplest way I can put it is emotional incest, which I posted about recently. I'm not allowed to say certain words, but incest, okay? There's emotional incest, okay? And it's when your parents, for instance, they literally expect you to think the way that they think. They expect you...